I'm Justin and I'm one of the account managers here at Tower Systems. I've got Tim here as well. He's an account manager also. He's going to be playing the role of a customer. I'm going to be playing the role of obviously demonstrating the software. This is just going to be an in-depth look at our gift/homewares and even generic sort of software, I guess. Tim's going to play the role as a customer, so he's going to ask any sort of questions that have popped up, over the years from a customer perspective, anything that I sort of, didn't touch on. And hopefully this video will sort of give you a good guide into what the software can achieve for you, and even from a customer perspective as well. So I'll get straight into it. I'll share my screen.
See what you got.
So you can see my screen here with the different tiles.
Yep, that's sharing. Yep.
Yeah, so basically this is the main dashboard, or the home screen as we call it, of our software. So the good thing about this screen here is it can be customized depending on either A, the functionality you use within the business, and B, the different terminals as well. So what I mean by that is you've got your register computer where you might just want the staff to be able to access the point of sale screen, maybe the customer database and the end of shift process. I can set up that template there, so I can just have those three tiles there. And then for my back office, where I might have, my favorite reporting, where I do my goods received, where I set up my promotional stuff, all of the things that I do in a back office computer, I can customize the screen to be specific to that as well. So I guess it just takes out the confusion of, your staff looking at all this different functionality if they don't need to use it. And that customization does flow into the point of sale screen as well. So when I click on the point of sale, you'll see here I've got that same cog up the top here. See, I've got stock item or department keys on the right here, but I can have the buttons going along the bottom if I want to, the left-hand side, the right-hand side. I can make the button go to any sort of, functionality within the software as well. Our goal is to, not make you leave the point of sale screen if we can. And, these can go to as many levels as you want as well. So if you've got department keys, you can click a button, it can go to another level of items as well. But we'll get straight into it. So obviously, ideally, most products will be barcoded. So, if you've got a scanner, you just scan the product and that brings it straight up to the sales screen. But I've got a couple of buttons set up over here. So when I click on this particular chair, there's a couple of things that pops up here. So first of all, you can have images associated with specific items. I've just got the one image, but you can have multiple images, pretty much unlimited images as well. I'll get more on the e-commerce integration down the track, but these images will flow across to your website as well if your e-commerce site is connected with our point of sale software, which is a massive time saver. When I click OK.
Do those images need to be loaded in one by one against each product?
No, you can do it in bulk. So we've sort of built a facility which, especially if you're starting out with a website, you don't want to be going around taking photos of thousands of stock items. So what you can do is you can approach your suppliers. If they, provide you with an image stock file, we've got a facility that allows you to basically import a bunch of those in.
Yeah, that's handy. And if
or multiple.
Even aside from the website, that's handy being able to bring up an image as you put a sale through to see, double check it is the right product.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you'll notice when I sold that particular item, the image popped up, but you can also have images, as the button as well, as you can see here. And even when I click on collectibles, I've got the image there of that particular bear as well. So depending on where you, scan the item first or before you click the item. A couple of things on here. So first of all, on the bottom here, you'll see it popped up with a little message telling the staff member that there's an upsell opportunity for this particular item. So this particular item is a dining chair. So basically it's saying, hey, if they buy the set of these, so a set of 4, they might get a discount of 20% onto that. What that does is when you actually change that quantity to say, they buy 3 more to make it 4, you'll see here that automates the discount and takes off 20%. So a couple of ways to set up your promotions or catalogs, depending on what you want to call it. So this is obviously, quantity range. So typically you'll see it in, tyre stores and things like that, where if there's a set of something, they'll force you to sort of buy that, 4th one to get the set. There's the mix and match, so petrol station style discounts where it might be a couple of chocolate bars or a couple of drinks for a certain price. You know, there's whole departments, categories, depending on which way you sort of want to approach it. You can set that up in the system accordingly. Also here as well is, you'll notice we've got stock variants. So this obviously comes in black, but typically you need colour, size and style. So, you know, it might come in different styles, different colours and different sizes. Setting it up as variants not only helps with point of sale side of things, so when you're doing purchase ordering and you know, arriving the stock. Again, we'll talk about the e-commerce stuff down the track, but certainly helps with the e-commerce integration and basically displaying that one style of product in one place on the website and allowing the customers to select, you know, what colours and sizes they want in that particular item. I'll bring up this item as well. So another thing here is, obviously I showed you the upsell opportunity, so that will automate the discount. This is purely just a stock note or a sales note basically for the salesperson. So this is just saying, hey, this box is on this particular shelf, you know, out the back or on this particular wall. It just allows a staff member to quickly and easily, you know, locate that box. Or if they want to pass on additional information, you know, to the customer, you can have that information associated with certain stock items as well. Just saves, you know, particularly in a gift store, there's, you know, thousands of boxes around the store. So, you know, if you can just quickly and easily go to that position in the store, it allows you to, you know, transact the sale quicker.
You're getting that information there to remind the staff. What if there was anything you wanted to call out to the customer on the receipt? Can you know, do anything around that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So ending a sale, a couple of ways to do it. First of all, we've got the Own Now, Pay Later integrations, you know, in ZipPay and Hum as well. Same as EFTPOS terminals, we'll connect with most EFTPOS PIN pads, so we'll push the amount directly to the EFTPOS terminal. But to answer your question here, I'm obviously just previewing a receipt, so that receipt can either be emailed or SMS'd or even, you know, printed to a thermal A4 or A5, you know, receipt printer. But basically, obviously your store logo, your shop details, but you'll see here that I've sold these two items here. I'm passing on additional information. So this particular bear, it's basically just telling the customer, you know, that it is a limited edition bear, you know, what the materials it's made out of. This particular chair here is, you know, what particular materials that's made out of as well. So, you know, look, if there's any, you know, warranty information, particularly around your homewares stock as well, any additional info, any product knowledge that you want to pass on, you can associate that with specific stock items as well, and that can print on the receipt automatically.
Brilliant.
You obviously don't have to have it to every stock item. A lot of our customers would do it, you know, by department and category as well. So you can sort of manipulate, which I'll touch on in a sec, but you can sort of manipulate information printed when people buy, you know, specific products in certain departments and categories. Another thing on the receipt here is what we call discount vouchers. So it's a form of customer loyalty that our software offers. One of many actually. Obviously we do the points-based system, but certainly the vouchers are proving really popular. Really good tool for a number of things. First of all, you'll see that I didn't assign this sale to any particular customer. So first of all, this tool is a really good tool to basically try and get that customer data. You can actually format the receipt to say, hey, if you want to sign up and be part of our VIP club, you'll get bigger rewards next time. So not only that, really handy tool to increase basket size. So you'll find customers are purchasing more because they know they're getting rewarded. And it's a really good way to bring your customers back in sooner as well and get them spending more with you.
How's that $11.26 calculated?
Yeah, so basically it's all configured by you. So without sort of going through the setup screen in depth, but basically you can go through your departments and categories and set your contribution percentages. And basically the system does the rest. So you can have different profiles as well. So you'll notice, as I said before, this is just to a normal cash sale customer that I might have seen for the first time. If they want to pass over their details, you can set up a VIP profile as well. So that way they'll get bigger percentages off their purchases rather than just being a normal cash sale customer.
And so then, yeah, I guess then you start to build that customer database in the background. So you've got
exactly, yeah, and then obviously you've got the data there for marketing purposes, reaching back out to customers and so forth. You'll see they're all barcoded as well, so people can't use them twice. You can set your own expiry dates as well, and you can even have the system prompt you. So if the customer doesn't have the physical voucher, you can have the system prompt you as well, saying, "Hey, this person's got outstanding vouchers. Do they want to use them?"
Excellent.
Cool. Look, lay-by is another massive thing for gift stores as well, particularly around, your seasonals, stuff like, Christmases and so forth. So within the system, we've got a full lay-by facility. By that, I mean, so I'll just bring up an item here. What you can do is you can click on the lay-by sale here. I'll choose a particular customer. I'll choose myself. And now at the top here, you'll see the lay-by to Justin Randall. So when I go to end this sale, you'll see I've got a couple of different options here. And this is all configured in the setup screen, which I'll show you in a sec. But basically what it does is you can set a certain percentage or a flat fee to be a deposit. So I've got a percentage of the sale. And then I can have my different durations here as well. So really handy for things like if it's higher ticketed prices that you might want to give the customer, maybe 12 weeks to pay off, you can certainly select the 12 weeks. Or if it's, lower price items that you might only want to give them 4 weeks, you can certainly select that as well. You can set a default, which I've got as 8. But let's just say it's, 3 weeks before Christmas and they want to pick it up, on the 24th, or in my case, the 27th of December after the event. You can certainly select that date as well. And that will actually print the payment schedule based on, how many weeks they've got till they pick up. So when I click OK, you'll see here that the payment schedule will actually print on the customer's receipt for them. So you've got your customer details along the top here, and then the payment schedule down the bottom here as well.
Excellent. And you can have your terms and conditions on there as well for lay-bys.
Exactly, yeah. So you can have the terms and conditions. I'll quickly show you the setup screen because the more things you've sort of got set up in here, the easier it is for staff members to process things like lay-bys and even gift vouchers as well. So I'll just show you the sort of flexibility you can, do in regards to lay-bys. So this is where you can set your total, minimum amount to be lay-byed, whether you require a deposit, so whether that's a percentage or a flat fee. And then you've got your durations, which you can obviously configure yourself, and your terms and conditions, and whether you want to pass on, a cancellation fee as well. While we're on the setup screen, I'll show you gift vouchers in a sec, but this is where you can sort of set up your gift vouchers as well. So our gift vouchers can be done to either the thermal, A4, A5, or even the plastic credit card style gift vouchers like this. So we've got a third party that we use that actually make up these gift cards. So they're all barcoded. So that means the amount can directly go onto this gift voucher. And you've got a nice professional gift voucher with, your store logo and shop details as well. But here you can obviously have top messages, bottom messages, if they are printed gift vouchers, and then all your different criteria up here as well. Just while we're on the gift vouchers, really simple to sell. So as I said, you just put the amount in there. If you've got the physical cards, you just scan the barcode and that puts the amount directly onto there. If you do the printed gift vouchers, it actually allows you the ability to have recipient and sender details. So, if it's to Tim from Justin, happy birthday or happy Mother's Day or Father's Day, you can certainly put that information on the gift voucher as well. When I sell this particular voucher, I'll just write this voucher number down. So now when I redeem this voucher, you'll see that it's all displayed at the point of sale as well. So I'll sell this particular bear again. It's only a limited edition, but I think I've sold it 1,000 times. And then when you obviously scan the voucher, you'll see here that the total value is $50 and there's $0 remaining because obviously the item is $329. So really simple to do. Back on the lay-by, sorry. So obviously you can, it's a full lay-by management facility. So basically that allows you to either add things to the lay-by, remove items off it. It even allows you to sort of partially collect things. So if you've got, say 10 items on the lay-by and you've paid enough to, say, collect 5 of those items, the system will allow you to do that as well. And that's all documented on the receipt as well. So it will show exactly what dates those items were collected. And every time you make payments and so forth to the lay-by, it's all documented on the receipt as well.
So if I had a customer that had 5 things on lay-by and they had paid enough off and they said, hey, can I take some of that with me? You can do that through the system and track what's been taken. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that's done through our lay-by management facility here. Obviously this is just got the 1 item on there, but you can imagine if 10 items were there, you'll see here you've got the collect column. So you can just mark that as collected. And that will obviously allow you to, allow the customer to take those items. You can obviously put in notes about the lay-by as well, obviously make payments, and you've got all the information here. So, the value of items collected here, the deposit amount, payments and so forth.
And if they wanted to change that from being Nando 30 centimetre red brown teddy to, a different version, are you able to do that sort of stuff as well?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So if you've got the wrong colour of something or, wrong size or whatever it might be, you can absolutely adjust that.
Excellent.
Cool. Any questions so far?
No, look, I mean, that all looks really good. I'm just looking at your touchscreen buttons there. You've got special customer order. Can you manage your orders for customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So really handy for gift stores, obviously, for high ticketed items that you might only stock 1 in at a time, or even just, items that you've sold out of. What you can do is, first of all, you can do a stock inquiry. So you can, first of all, see if you've got any of those stock items within the software. So that's going to basically bring up all the information there. So it'll bring up all your arrival stuff, how many you've got on hand, when it was last sold. So you can sort of see the price fluctuations throughout there as well. But you'll see here, I've sold 2 of these items today. It's showing me 0 on hand. Obviously, if that's 0, it's saying I've got none in stock. So what I can do is I can click on order this item. And that's going to basically bring up a couple of options. So if I've got pending orders for this particular supplier, I can tack it onto those. Otherwise, I can just create a new order for that supplier. And it's as simple as choosing the customer here. So if the customer's not in the software, you can click the add button and add the customer details in. Otherwise, I can search for this particular customer. Just while we're on this screen, like most screens, can be customized as well. So I can click up here and choose to show and hide certain information. And basically that will allow me to sort of adjust columns depending on if I want to default search by, phone number, surname, given name, whatever it is.
Okay, so you could do things like turn on the email address if you wanted to, for example, be able to confirm that you do have email addresses for the customers. It's just select them and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, spot on. So when I go add, not add, when I click on enter, it's going to be an order for Mr. Justin Randall. So now when I click on OK, it's going to ask, does the customer want to leave a deposit? If it was yourself, I'd probably take a deposit. If it was me, being the trustworthy guy, I'd leave it at $0. I just want to let this customer know when this item arrives in stock. So obviously, if you populate an amount in there, it's going to take you to the point of sale screen to transact that deposit. Otherwise, when you leave it at 0, there's a couple of things in the background. So let's just say in 2 weeks' time that order arrived in stock. We can notify that customer either via text message or an email that their order has arrived. Whoever's arriving the stock, it'll also pop up with a little message saying this is an order for Mr. Justin Randall. And if you do product labels, the system will actually produce a label with those customer details on it as well. So whoever's labeling the stock for that particular invoice, they'll know to put that aside for that particular customer. And then basically when that customer comes in and takes their item, you just scan the label and that will mark it as collected within the software.
With the text and email, is there any extra charges for that stuff?
Email, no, but yeah, text messages, that there is a third party involved, so there are additional costs.
Yeah.
And look, to be honest, with text messaging, you can use it for marketing and notifications. A lot of stores absolutely use it for the notification side of things. So I obviously showed you lay-by, so we can automate those messages when, you know, lay-bys are outstanding or they've missed payments and so forth. And same with special customer orders. For the marketing side of things, they generally go down the email road, just depending on how many, you know, text messages and emails they want to send out. But you can configure that in your email and SMS settings. So, you know, you don't have to have it for absolutely everything. You know, you can, as I said, you can just have the text messaging turned on for specific notifications.
Excellent. Look, I mean, I've had a few gift shops over the years ask about doing kind of, you know, certain departments, they may not want to track absolutely what product they sell. They just kind of want to be able to take an amount quickly. Yeah. Do you have to load every product into the system, or is there a way to kind of?
No, not at all. No, so you're spot on. A lot of our customers will sort of set up this touch screen to have, you know, to represent their certain departments and categories. And basically what you can do is you can still have items underneath those departments, but let's just say an item doesn't scan for whatever reason, or you haven't entered it in. Let's just say it's an item out of my decor department. So I've got a decor, you know, button set up here, but obviously you can have, you know, miscellaneous or, you know, other departments as well. So what I can do is I can click on that item. Let's just say it's $49.95 and it might be a chair or something. I can end the sale there and then, and that puts that $49.95 under that specific department. But I can actually go one step further and actually temporarily change the description of that item. So if I want to itemize exactly, you know, what they purchased, so it might be let's just say it's a red chair, whatever the material is, whatever you want to put in there, you can put free text in there. And what you can do is, once you click on a save, it's not actually permanently changing the department description. It's basically just having that one description shown on the customer's receipt. So that way, if they want to bring it in for an exchange or something like that, the staff member knows exactly what the item is rather than it just being a generic department sale.
Excellent.
And you can just, as I said, you can just have a miscellaneous department key set up as well. And, you know, obviously just change the description of that miscellaneous department. You don't have to put it under a specific department, but you can if you want to. That way, when you do the end of shift process, at least you know exactly, you know, the value of items that were sold in those specific departments rather than just getting a generic, you know, all under miscellaneous or something like that.
Yeah. I noticed you've got cards and wrap on the screen there. In terms of getting some of that data in, like if I, you know, deal with Hallmark or John Sands or any of those companies, do I need to load all of that information in myself?
No, not at all. No. So, yeah, we can, majority of the time, we can get a supplier stock file from all your major suppliers. Basically, that allows, you know, any new items and things like that, you know, if you go to order it in 6 months' time, whatever it might be, at least it saves you the process of, you know, adding all that information in. That said, we do a lot of electronic invoicing as well. So we can grab a lot of electronic invoices from those major suppliers and import the stock that you've ordered in electronically as well. Just saves you, you know, manually typing out descriptions, cost prices, you know, how many you received and all of that sort of stuff. So it just speeds up the, you know, going to software. The most daunting part is, certainly from what customers say, is just, you know, getting all that stock in. So you make a good point. So there's a couple of ways to do that electronically and fast track that process, whether it's via supplier stock files or even electronic invoices from the suppliers as well.
Excellent.
Just while we're on the stock in side of things, I'll go to the purchase ordering side of things as well. So a couple of ways that our customers do purchase orders. First of all, I'll show you certain information you can put against certain stock items. So you'll see here I've got a reorder tab, and basically I can set my mins and maxes per certain stock item. So when it gets down to a certain minimum, I can run a report and then order anything that I've either got based as my ceiling quantity, depending on what information I've put in there. But the most popular way is the order by sales report. So what I can do here is, let's just say I want to do a particular order for a supplier. You know, I last ordered I'll say the 1st of the 1st, 2021 to today, I can select the supplier there. Otherwise, if I just want to do an order for anything that's sold, I can just leave it at all suppliers, and that's going to bring up anything that's sold from any one of those suppliers. When I click on process, traditionally you'd probably do, specific suppliers, but in this case, I'm just going to bring up all stock from all suppliers, and that's just going to give you a quick snapshot of what's sold either from that particular supplier within that certain date range. So I've got about 10 to 15 items here. A couple of things on this screen, first of all, is you can customize this screen depending on what information you want shown. So you'll see here I've got quantity sold column, my quantity on hand, and then my quantity to water. So they're the most three important fields there. But as I said, you can actually say, all right, let me know if anything's on a pending order or a sent order, and then I can sort of make a better business decision. I might have 10 of these coming in already, so I might not want to order any of those today. So I can choose to show that information there as well. I can show supplier information, and you'll see that across multiple suppliers, but if you just did it for one particular supplier, it'd obviously be the same supplier across the board. But from here, if I just want to do a quick replenishment order, basically just want to order exactly what I sold, I can just click this use quantity sold button down the bottom here. That's going to populate my quantity to order with exactly what I sold. As I said, I can override that, so I can go, look, I've got 6 of these on a pending order already. I need 0 of those today. I can go down and adjust that order accordingly. Once I'm happy with it, I can click create order, and that's going to create an order for me to then send off to the supplier.
It's a lot easier than walking around the shop trying to see what you need to order and work out what's missing from what location.
Well, that's it, exactly. Like, I know a lot of owners, think they know their stores really well, items everywhere and so forth. But, if something's sold out, this will absolutely bring up that information and allow you to reorder it. Whereas, if you go around the store and do it by eye, you're bound to miss, certain products. And not only that, you can sort of make better business decisions, as I said, just with the data in front of you. But also too, if I click on specific items, you've got all the information here of when it was last sold, when it was last arrived. So it might be telling me that, hey, I've sold 10 of these items, but it might have taken me 2 years to sell those 10 items.
Yeah.
Instead of, reordering 10 of them, I might say, look, 2 years is a long time. I probably only need, 3 of these or so forth. Cool. That doesn't physically send it off to the supplier just yet. That will take me to my order screen. And from my order screen, this is where I can basically manipulate the order if I need to. So I can manually add items to it. I can remove items from it. And then from here, I can actually send it to the supplier.
What are the orange ones versus the grey ones in the grid at the bottom there?
Yeah, so the orange ones are just indicating that they're special orders for customers. So it absolutely highlights that they're a special order. It'll actually show on your order report as well that it's an order for whichever customer it is. And basically you can put in notes about, individual stock items as well for the supplier to see.
Excellent.
Any questions about the ordering side of things?
Look, I guess the next question is, if you send that order off to a supplier, what happens from there? How do you bring it in?
Yeah, so a couple of ways. So if you create the purchase order from the software, you've got the ability to click the arrive order button, and that will basically bring up a list of orders that you haven't arrived for you to arrive. And basically that just gives you a snapshot similar to what the order bus sales screen looked like. And what you can do is you can just click on one button that says arrive all quantities. That's obviously if you got everything. If say you ordered 5 of something and you only received 2, you can put that quantity in there and that will mark it as partially arrived. So then that will give you an option whether you want to, create a back order or depending on what you want to do with those outstanding items that you didn't get. Otherwise, if the supplier can supply like a CSV invoice, we can arrive that electronically using our EDI. And otherwise, if you just want to do it the old-fashioned way and do it manually, you can just put in your invoice details along the top here and then arrive each item either via supplier stock code, barcode, or PLU as well.
Excellent. And I can see that you've got things like exchange rate. So if you're purchasing things from overseas, you can navigate through that foreign currency process?
Absolutely, yeah. So you've got the exchange rate, you've got freight as well, so you can pass on, well, not pass on, but you can obviously do a flat freight fee, or if you want to distribute that freight across, stock items to get a true value of those stock items, you can certainly use the freight component like that as well. So, yeah, a couple of different options. If the supplier passes on discounts, you've got the ability to obviously put the discounted price in there as well, and that will document, based on that stock item. When you obviously see all the arrival history, it'll actually show the discounts as well.
Excellent. And once you've received in stock, if you want to label those products, is there a way to print labels or?
Yeah. So basically, each stock item has a little tick box here that sends a print barcode on arrival. So what that means is, if that's ticked, I arrive 10 of these items, that will automatically send 10 barcodes to our barcode manager to be printed. So generally, what happens when you arrive an invoice, the staff member will then go to the barcode manager and essentially print all the labels that need to be printed for that particular invoice. Just on the labels, you can actually set different label styles as well. So if there's certain departments that you want, specific information printed on the label compared to others, you can set up different label styles and associate those with specific stock items and departments within the software as well. We even do by default like Australian made and locally sourced labels as well. So any, items that you want to advertise that it's, locally sourced or Australian made products, which, in this world today is more important than ever. You can certainly have those labels printed on those certain stock items as well.
Excellent.
Just while we're in here as well, obviously we've got the product labels, and we also do the shelf labels as well. So you can just navigate between those two. So the shelf labels, if you've got shelf talkers, they can be printed onto like a perforated cardboard. And same with product labels, they can be printed to a, either an A4 printer or a label printer as well.
Excellent.
Look, I spoke briefly about the e-commerce integration to start with, so I'll touch more on that now. So basically, as far as e-commerce platforms go, we've got the 3 direct APIs to Shopify, WooCommerce and Magento. Certainly Shopify is our preferred. We offer a web development service as well, and Shopify is what we develop in. But that said, we've got plenty of customers using the other links, seamlessly with no problems at all. But having the e-commerce link is a massive time saver. So basically all your information is stored within the point of sale. So, the point of sale software is what you see every day. It's where you do your goods received. It's where you scan out your stock and so forth. So obviously keeping on top of that information is what you should be doing in the point of sale anyway. And then having or maintaining that information basically allows your website to just run off the back of that. So you'll see here that I've got images here. So when I upload images in the point of sale, those will flow across to the website. So every time I adjust them, within a couple of minutes, the new images will show online. You'll see I've got the extra details tab. The extended description is what I showed you, that you can pass on, certain information on the customer's receipts. You can also differentiate that information if you did want to, or you can completely mirror it. But this is your web description here. So any sort of sales pitch or, information about stock items that you want displayed online, because obviously, online, you don't have the ability for a salesperson to be selling that item. So, typically what a salesperson would, what information they would pass on about an item when, a customer's inquiring about, you can certainly put that information online. So that way the customer's got all the information in front of them. And then over on your details, you've got the ability to have a web store price. So again, you can completely mirror it to your in-store sell price, or you can differentiate that as well. And that will obviously grab the web price. And then once you've got all that information, it's just as simple as ticking this web store item box. So if that's ticked, that item flows across to the website. If it's unticked, it disappears off your website as well.
So I can pick and choose what goes on the website?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we've actually got a tool to sort of allow you to easily manipulate that with a bunch of stock at the same time. So that's using our stock manager tool. and I'll go into it here. So what you can do is you can actually, let's just say I want to get everything from my Albi import supplier, right? So when I click on search, that's going to find all my stock items from that particular supplier. So you'll see here at the click of a button that found just over 2,000 records. So I can actually untick these here. I'm just going to use so I'm just going to use these items here. So I can actually configure this screen. So obviously we're talking about e-commerce. So what I can do is I can actually configure this screen to have all my e-commerce information on this home screen here. So you'll see here I've got web price, I've got has that item got images, is it a web store item, and I've got my descriptions over here. So let's just say that none of these had a web store price. What I can do is I can go, right, edit selected, I can come over here, I can say, right, I want to update my web price, and let's just say I want to put 5% onto my web price, or I want to use my sell price and completely mirror that, I can. So as soon as I go update prices, you'll see here that at the click of a button that added 5% onto my web pricing. You can imagine if all of those were unticked, I can come down here and web store item. At the click of a button that affected 10 records instead of doing it individually as well. Obviously that's e-commerce side of things. If I wanted to use it for in-store purposes, so let's just say I want to know my sell price, departments, I want to know supplier information. So I just added all those fields there. So going back to e-commerce, obviously people searching for products, people search by brand names and things. They're probably not going to type in the specific gift store to find those items. So this is a really handy tool to basically essentially steal those keywords that people are typing into Google and putting them in your descriptions. And doing that allows Google to sort of rank your website higher. We've developed a tool within here. So basically what we can do is, let's just say these are all collectible bears, or let's type in bears, right? I can type in bears to the start of those descriptions. As soon as I go apply, at the click of a button, that's added the word bears to all of those descriptions. So now when people are searching bears or collectible bears or whatever it is in Google, hopefully my website is going to rank higher because those keywords are showing in my descriptions. But you see how easy it is to sort of manipulate a bunch of stock at the same time. Similarly, if a supplier says, hey, all of our prices have gone up by 5%, you can come in here, again, select all that information or all those stock items from that supplier and come over here and update the cost price or the sell price. If I want to stock take that list, I can send it to the stock take. I can create a report. If I want labels for all those items, I can send it to the barcode manager, or I can create an order as well.
So that looks like a really powerful screen. I guess assuming a customer can bring across their data, if they were bringing across data that wasn't so great, this would be quite a handy tool to go through and update some of those things, like move descriptions and clean it up.
Absolutely, yeah. It just allows you to, as I said, depending on if you're using it for in-store stuff, or certainly helps with your e-commerce integration. But yeah, as pointed out, even if you're coming from a different provider and you do want to clean a lot of that data up, historically you'd probably do that before you start using the software. Doing it in Excel, it gets a bit messy and what have you. But certainly doing it in here allows you to see information about certain stock items. If all of these are in the wrong department or category, obviously these are across 3 or 4 different departments. I can actually go, right, you know what, these are all meant to be in the kitchen department, and I go save, and all of a sudden they're all in the kitchen department. So anything you want to do for that stock item, you can do it in bulk, which is really handy.
Brilliant. And so I guess that raises another question for me in terms of businesses switching from other point of sale software across. Can that information, the product information, be preloaded, or do they need to enter every single product in a second time?
Nah. So look, most of the sales these days are people coming from other providers. So we've certainly got the process pretty down pat, in the sense that we'll bring over your stock information and your customer information as well. And as I said, as part of the onboarding process, we'll actually work with you in regards to which way you want to tackle it. We'll certainly provide you with advice on what way we think would be best, whether that's, starting fresh or bringing everything over as is and cleaning it up, as you sort of go with the software, or cleaning that up prior to going live with the software. So multiple different options, and it's a case by case thing, which, as I said, part of the onboarding process is certainly us doing that with you.
Yeah, and with that onboarding process, do businesses need to close for a couple of days while we go through all of this, or is it done during trading? How does that work?
Nah, yeah, not at all. So done during trading. So depending on how many days initially, generally you go for 2 or 3 days. And as I said, depending on whether you're coming from a different provider or starting fresh. Starting fresh is certainly not so much easier, but going back to doing department sales and things like that, we can essentially set it up to be a glorified cash register. And then the good thing about the subscription cost is you've sort of got unlimited time to learn the software after the fact. So a couple of ways to tackle it, but certainly there's no downtime. First day will generally be trading and getting everything configured. And then day 2 or 3 is sort of, ripping the Band-Aid off and going live. The good thing about the onboarding process is you'll get one of our installation managers one-on-one with you. So, it's not here's a 30-minute YouTube video, learn it yourself and away you go. And, you feel like you're going to go call support 1,000 times in the first week. We'll certainly, help you through that and hold your hand through the process. You'll have someone one-on-one with you for, 2 or 3 days straight.
And is that phone support and whatnot, is that included as part of the subscription price?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So 24/7 local support. You get access to unlimited one-on-one remote training sessions as well. So long after the install, you've got access to, training sessions, which, if you want to do loyalty or start your marketing side of things, or, you might develop a website in a year's time and want that integrated, and you want to know, how the integration works and so forth, you can book in as many of those sessions and they're unlimited. So there's no cap on those. And then also you got access to our online knowledge base as well. So basically there's an article and potentially a video on absolutely how to do anything within the software.
And there's no necessity to, try and learn everything in that initial onboarding. You can
exactly. Yeah. And that's the most important thing. There is a lot to know within the software. But certainly, we don't want your brain exploding after, day 2 of the install. So that's why we offer the unlimited one-on-one remote training. We want you to get the most out of the software. So, certainly utilising those training sessions initially anyway, you come out of it much better.
Yeah. Look, I just thought of another, functionality question. If I had a range of, quite collectible goods and I got some extra stock in, is there a way to notify customers that might be interested? Are there marketing tools and things like that to do that kind of thing for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So a couple of ways to sort of market out to customers. We've got our marketing tools here, which basically you can allow the systems to sort of, get a list together based on the criteria you select. So you can do by products, you can do by departments, you can even do by interest as well. So if I'm interested in, collectible bears, and 6 months' time I get a whole new range of collectible bears in, you can either reach back out to people that have purchased, collectible bears in the past, or even if they're interested in it as well. And you can send an SMS or an email out directly from the software based on the list that the system will give you. We've also got events marketing as well. So, if you were to come in and purchase a birthday gift for your daughter or your wife or whoever it is, I can actually store that information against that particular customer. And the more you sort of come in and purchase, today it might be a birthday gift for your wife, but you probably don't, knowing you don't get your wife birthday gifts, but it might be for your son or your daughter. So I can store that and even go as far as, what their name is. And basically over time, I can actually, grab that data. So I can have your daughter's birthday, I can have your son's birthday, I can have your wife's birthday, I can have your anniversary. So each month I can actually mark it out based on, if their birthdays are coming up. And the message is really personalised. So it'll actually say, you know, depending on what your son's name is, it'll actually use that name in the text message or email. And you can actually format it to say, hey, you know, come in, so-and-so's birthday's coming up, here's 5% off gifts, or, you know, your wife's anniversary is coming up, you know, here's 10% off anniversary gifts. So, yeah, you can really sort of reach back out to customers based on, you know, previous purchases and so forth.
Fantastic. And you mentioned integrating with the WooCommerce, Shopify, and Magento. Are there any other integrations that, you know, we should know about?
Yeah, so spoke about the FPOS integration. So we'll, you know, push the amount to most FPOS bin pads. Obviously the Own Now, Pay Later integration, so Zip, Pay, Hum. As far as accounting packages go, we integrate directly through Xero. So that's no additional costs. The maintenance is done, you know, from us, so it's all inclusive in the subscription cost. For any other accounting providers, we do use a third party for that. So there are, you know, charges and fees associated with them.
If I wanted to integrate with MyOb or QuickBooks or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. But certainly our preferred is Xero, just because it's all inclusive, you know, all in-house. You know, no additional costs or anything like that as well.
Yeah. And I just noticed you've got kits there on the main screen. What does kits let you do?
Yeah, really handy tool. So basically, you know, whether you want to call it bundles or whatever it might be. So you'll see here, I've got a Father's Day chocolate bag. So all of these items here I sell individually. But, you know, Father's Day is coming up. I might want to bundle a bunch of those items in and sell it as a pack. So this facility allows you to sort of track individual cost price and quantity on hand information for each of those components, as well as allowing you to sell it as a pack as well. So you'll see here you can add in all your components that make up that particular pack. I've just got one of each, but you can have 2 or 10 or 5, depending on what quantity. And when you make those items, it actually subtracts from those individual items as far as quantity on hand goes. And same when you sell a pack, it will actually subtract it as well.
So then I can just scan one barcode to sell all of that in that pack?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only obviously creating packs and so forth, but a handy tool to help get rid of like slow moving stock. So, you know, if there's a couple of items that don't sell that you sort of want to, I guess, put together and sell it as a pack, really handy tool for that. And also too, it allows, as far as price matching goes and so forth with your competitors, it sort of makes it hard for them to do that as well.
Excellent.
One other thing I'll show you as well is what we call our receipt coupons. So basically it's sort of the unofficial loyalty, but basically what I can do is I can create coupons to say in Paint or whichever program, and I can have these printed on receipts based on, certain criteria, or I can have them on every receipt as well. So a couple of different options. So first of all, you can, let's just say I create a coupon that says, hey, present this coupon in to receive 5% off your next purchase. So a lot of our customers would use it. So, one Saturday morning, they might be on their business Facebook page. It might be pretty quiet. So they might put a post out and say, hey, if you come in between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. today, spend $100 or more on our decor department, and you'll receive 5% off your next purchase. So what you can do is you can actually create that coupon. You can add that coupon in there. And then you can come over here and select the certain criteria that you've just mentioned. So what you do is you put your time parameters in. So I said between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. And then I can do Saturday only. So I've unticked all these other days. And then I said spend $100 or more on my decor. So I can choose my decor department, put in my minimum amount there. And now when that sale meets that specific criteria, it will spit out the appropriate coupon on the bottom of the receipt. So obviously you can use it to offer further discounts. A lot of suppliers get involved with it. So they might want to advertise, new products or something, on your receipts. So you can work with your suppliers and have that information shown as well. Or if you do a gift wrap service or whatever it might be, you can offer that service as well. So you can really manipulate when certain coupons are printed on the receipt, and you can have unlimited there, you know, and based on the criteria, whether it's a, you know, happy hour sale or specific days, you know, what requirements it has to meet, then, you know, once that sale meets those requirements, you'll obviously print out the appropriate voucher.
Excellent. And I noticed you got a tick box at the top there to say print every time. So if it is a logo you want to call out to every single customer, or an image you want to call out to every customer, you can put that on every receipt regardless.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any questions or anything?
Look, no, I think that's been quite comprehensive. I also, actually, one thing that pops up, you've got reports on the screen there. What are the extent of the reports in the system?
Yeah, so hundreds of different reports. So you'll see here that, first of all, you can have a button here. So a lot of our stores will use it to have sort of the favourite reports they use daily.
Yeah.
But anything that's not as a button here, you can access along the top here. So obviously you've got your sales reports, or your takings reports, your daily, your weekly, your monthly. Your monthly sales comparisons are a really good one. So you can compare, say, October this year to October last year, or even periods, so Christmas period this year to last year, just to see what departments are growing and what are declining, and if you've got more people through the store. Your fast sellers reports are really good ones. So not only is it a report on, you know, your fast selling stock items, but it'll also give you a report on, you know, what's dead stock as well. Your 10 by 1 a lot of people use, so that will rank your top 10 selling items and also give you an item that sells well with those top 10 selling items. So you can actually start to pick up on trends of, you know, what people are purchasing with specific items.
Oh yeah, to get an idea, I guess you could either group those products together or know where to locate it in the business.
Yeah, absolutely, and make the most of it, I guess. So yeah, you've got all those, all your stock reports, your staff reports, so, you know, comparison reports, you know, target reports and things like that as well. So yeah, hundreds of different reports.
And if I didn't want my staff to be able to access that, can I control that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I've sort of kept everything open, but any sort of thing that I went into throughout the demonstration, I can have a password box appear. So you can actually set different levels. So you might have your owner level, you know, your manager level, and maybe your weekend staff level. So obviously there might be things that you need your manager to do, but don't want, you know, certain things that your owners might see and so forth. So you can sort of set, I think there's over 400 access areas within the software. So you can certainly stagger those and you know, apply those different levels to those specific parts of the software.
Excellent.
Just before we go, just on the support side of things, so obviously I mentioned the 24/7, you know, help desk, you know, unlimited training. So obviously you'll get a login for the website. You can use this booking training button here, and that will allow you to book in as many sessions as you want.
Is there an extra charge for those?
No, it's all inclusive in the subscription. So yeah, no additional, it's not based on how many support calls you do or anything like that. Not based on how many training sessions you book in. So all unlimited, no additional costs. You've got the knowledge base here as well. So let's just say I want to, you know how to set up variants within the stock file. The website's down at the moment. There we go. So yeah, I can click on the variants article here, and it'll literally give me a step-by-step guide on how to do anything within the software. And just all inclusive in that subscription cost as well is our software enhancements or our software updates. So we come out with, you know, roughly between 5 and 8 major updates a year. 80% of those updates is based on user feedback. So we've got a page on the website called Software Ideas. And, you know, if our software doesn't cover something that a business owner might want, you can certainly lodge it as an idea. And if that idea gets a couple of votes, or we like the idea, then certainly we can look at putting that facility within the next update.
Excellent. I mean, you mentioned the onboarding process and the fact about, you know, being able to bring across some of that product and customer data. What else is included with that onboarding process? Like, how do you go about that?
Yeah, so basically, as I said, generally it'll give you a couple of days of installation and training. So before that, we do a thorough check. So prior to us, installing the software within the business, we'll do a data check. So we'll have someone remote in, grab your data out, prior to the installation. We'll run our eye over it and sort of make any recommendations or anything like that. Basically, before the installation, we'll do another data conversion. So that way we're getting a live data, based on, if you've got accurate quantity on hand, or if you've, added new stock item, in that time as well. So that will grab all that. So yeah, we'll do pre-installation checks, a couple of days of, installation and training. And then essentially after the installation, you'll have you'll have someone, for the first couple of months, essentially reaching out just to, make sure you're comfortable with the software, asking any questions or any queries you might have, essentially holding your hand throughout that, transition process. Because especially coming from other providers, probably a couple of procedures and so forth, stuff that you might have to get used to. So we certainly hold your hand in that process and, make you feel as comfortable as possible.
So quite a proactive process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because as I said, it can be pretty daunting. You might be used to using, this particular software for the last 10 years. So, as much as it is point of sale software, but there might be things in certain positions or different places or different procedures of how you do things. So, we sort of want to make you as comfortable as possible, and we certainly offer the support, to help you with that process.
And the subscription side of things, is that per machine?
No, that's on unlimited licenses or unlimited terminals. So, from installation, if you've got 10 computers that you want the software on, that doesn't affect the cost at all. It doesn't affect it if you want it on one machine. Unlimited terminals installation, that cost is.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Well, yeah. Look, I mean, that I think that covers any questions I had written down. Is there anything else you want to talk about or go through?
No, look, the only thing I'll add is obviously that was an in-depth look in the software. It probably does do a lot more, and it is going to be a case-by-case, scenario. So basically, if anyone is watching this video and we haven't covered something that you thought the software might do, or something. Sorry?
And they've made it this far.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anything that the software might do, or anything that's, specific to that particular business, certainly reach out, and we're more than happy to organise another session like this and run through, specific features as well.
Yeah. And if I wanted to see some of those reports that you mentioned before, are you able to send me through some copies of those and things like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're pretty transparent. So just reach out and ask any questions you need, and we'll certainly try and accommodate those questions as best we can.
Excellent. No worries. Well, yeah, thanks for the run through.
No worries at all. Thanks.
Cheers. Bye.